Okay, I think we're live, and we're just waiting for this all to kick off. Okay, so hey guys, we're back for another night stream. It's literally just a couple days ago. This is like my third stream in like the span of 5 days. That's unheard of. But such is the end of the final parts of this playthrough. Not that they were anywhere near done, but considering we only have to do about one race per stream, I think I found a good window. I found another window of time, and instead of playing my other games, I felt like I should knock out an endurance tonight. So what's L planned for today? Well, since it's only 9:30, at least in my time, I figured let's do a longer endurance, and I was thinking the Grand Valley 300 is probably, I think, the right balance of distance and time. I think any of the 200-mile ones would probably work, but I think for simplicity, let's go with the Grand Valley 300 since I already know what I want to drive for that. What's up, F8? What's up, Frankie? It's good morning. It's good night here. Just have my lights on. So yeah, let's start our timer, and I will show you guys L plan for, we're going to do Grand Valley. It'd be a long boy. Alright, so next part of our playthrough. And we're going to need to buy another car. And this time, instead of buying from the dealership, I'm going to trade again. And this time, our trade's going to work. We're not going to buy anything ultra crazy. But I did not manage to acquire this car in the playthrough. And look at that, I'm sitting right on it. I'm going to buy the Raybrick NSX. We missed this car earlier in the playthrough, and well, this is our time to drive an NSX. We haven't driven an NSX all throughout the playthrough, so I think this is our best shout. Let's hop right in. Alright, so we have purchased a new car, our Raybrick NSX. It is nice. It's a really nice looking car, nice color, everything nice. But of course, we gotta get some upgrades. And I'm thinking, well, I mean, it's kind of the obvious choice. You gotta get Super Slicks, especially for a long endurance and race cars. Only by the Stage 3 and Stage 4 turbo. So you know what? Let's not even bother with the upgrade. Oh, we can actually. I think Stage 1 is all we need. I don't even think we'll need to upgrade, to be perfectly honest with you guys. But maybe to make the race go... Actually, am I going to regret it or not? I don't know. This race might become boring if I put on the Stage 1, even if it's only a level 1. But then we'd be spending more time. I don't know. I'll think about it. Get an oil change going. Since I don't know if the characteristics carry over when you buy a car from trading. You're doing 24 hours of Le Mans on A-Spec. I did that last year. Definitely a grind. Yeah, we dumped half our money, but money's not an issue because endurances pay out a lot. Like this, we're getting 400 grand just in cash, so money's not a problem for the playthrough. Alright, I didn't wash the car though. Maybe that'll give me bad luck. I don't know. I don't know if the mileage carries over. So maybe we bought the car and it's new, even though I obviously used it on my other save. Alright, hey look, there's another Raybrick. Alright, so we got 2 GTRs, a Supra, and 2 other NSXs. Too bad we couldn't get Castrol NSX in there. Alright, you know what? I'm feeling ambitious. I bought the Stage 1, but I don't even want to use it. 497 horsepower. Let's just grind this out. The difference will be like a minute or two. Great Joe Mamas think alike. Alright, well that's all the other settings I'm changing. I mean, obviously if this goes wrong, we could, go back, but I mean, looking at this AI preview, it looks like everybody's stock. So just to make it an interesting race, let's just get right up. Lights out, away we go. This is one of the tracks that we need to see return. I had to get a good exit, but the AI decided to brake on the exit of the turn. Feels we're driving a race car again. We just drove an MX-5 and an XJ220 in our last segment, so we're back to driving a race car. Considering we did 5 hours of JGTC last time, this feels very familiar. I see no drop frames on OBS, so that just might be your internet. But even at stock, this car is still a little tricky to drive. Maybe it's because the tires are cold. But yes, definitely a lot of mechanical grip, even in second gear. Now if you guys remember from the JGTC Championship, the NSXs were the fastest. So maybe I'm in an unfair advantage driving the NSX, but I don't care. We just haven't driven an NSX in this playthrough at all. So, that's just my excuse. Yeah, we did drop $1 million on this car. It's actually not the most expensive car in this game. There are much more expensive cars, and mini spoiler alert, I was planning on doing more trades like that. But I won't tell you exactly what. Alright, math gang, if it takes about 2 minutes a lap, and we have 60 laps, how much time does that take to complete the race? Big math brain here. What's up, Games X? Which championship needs a Japanese car? We're using the X1. Is it Grand Valley, or is it like a different championship? Hey money, yep, we're back for another endurance. Look at that, the other Raybrig is in first place at the moment. Art is not far behind though. Man, I don't really have the front braking turn in like the Supra had. Car is a bit less stable than I was expecting. Wikipedia's down. Oh no, did you guys not donate your $2.73? I forgot to. I don't know what tires these guys are on, but definitely the Super Slicks. They're going to last a while, but I'm not getting the best grip, that's for sure. Oh, so the mileage does carry over, because if you notice, I have 32 miles on the right, if you guys could read that at all. And yet, there's only 6 miles. Okay, well, we didn't have much mileage anyway, but the oil change does give us a boost. But I didn't wash the car, so boo-hoo. Stream lagged again? I mean, check your internet, because on my OBS, I'm seeing no drop frames at all. That's your Spectrum internet, or whatever you got out there. Seems like you're either on Team Comcast or Team Spectrum in the US, and neither are particularly good options. So, yep, I grinded Nürburgring 4-hour a little bit, but actually I also found that the Dream Car Championship was the best way to farm both XP and credits. So if you wanted to make a little progress on farming money. The Dream Car Championship was also excellent. Just doing that whole thing. It was only slightly less than Nürburgring 4 hour, but you got a lot more money. This is so weird. The Rayberg is cruising, while the Arda, I think, is still stuck behind the Supra. Did my settings not carry over, I wonder? Because it almost feels like I have no downforce. It's all mechanical grip. Yep, Comcast, world's greatest internet service. That's what I have. And if you remember my asphalt streams, I have a history with them. Alright, we're getting a slipstream DRS. That is powerful. But after I did 3 laps scrap, we are now in the lead. GT4 stream, I won't even think of touching GT4 until we're done with this game. Aside from maybe like an odd license stream. Alright guys, I had an idea the other day about something else for this channel. Let me know what you guys think though. We would just do, it would be a video format where, similar to like how ProDrive DT does his content, we could just post hot laps from just random GT games. So like sometimes we'll get a prize car in GT3, or you know, there's an interesting car in a GT game. It doesn't even have to be GT3 that, you know, we don't really get to experience that much. So, or rather, even if like if it's a license test, like sometimes it's too easy, I don't push enough, whatever. I'm not even paying attention to my gearbox. What if we just did a hot lap video? Completely random, there's no structure at all to it. It's just, I feel like driving something today. Let's make a quick, you know, couple minute video with a hot lap. Where I just try to drive fast with whatever car I'm driving. Would you guys be interested in seeing that kind of content? I feel like that is something that's really easy to make, and you know, could bring something different to the table. I have played a lot of Real Racing 3, but I haven't grinded that game since like 2017, 2018. I only played it for like a year and a half, 2 years. I played a lot of it, but I found it too repetitive after a couple of years. Kentucky Fried Man. I'm just now seeing the rest of the chat. I'm not paying attention at all. The F8 asked, what's my next project after GT3? I mean, it's going to be kind of two things simultaneously. For our Saturday streams, our weekend streams, I'm going to be playing dominantly GT7. Dominantly. I want to make a bunch of content for it. And if the game is structured right, which, you know, we don't know fully how the game's structured at the moment, I want to do like 100% playthrough of it. Similar like how we did GT3. If it's possible. I mean, to me it seems like GT7's a ever-evolving game, so what we see on day one won't be what we get, you know, 6 months from now with updates. So something tells me they're probably going to expand the career mode along with those updates. So I think it might be tricky to do a 100% playthrough right on launch. But if it's not 100% playthrough, it's you know, doing the online, doing seasonal events, finding stuff to do in the game. Sort of like when I did Asphalt, you know. But obviously there's no fuel system or anything like that. Plus, you guys know how I am with good games. If I find a game that is so good that I stream, I have a tendency to just straight up just finish it on my own time and completely wreck up any plans. And that's why I kept asking, you know, if I did a GT7 playthrough, should I do it on my main account or should I do an alternate account that is strictly just for streaming? So that way I could still enjoy my main account, but then when it comes to streaming we could have, you know, some pace. For the first GT7 streams, I think I'll just do my main account. My PlayStation account. But, you know, if we want to do something like a 100% playthrough, I cannot restrain myself to play like once a week. I physically cannot do that. I've been waiting so long for that game. There's, just telling you straight away, on my main account, there is no chance that I can hold off playing the game for a week. I am going to play it off stream. So that's why I suggest maybe we open an alternate account. And that will be exclusively for just playing on stream. So I guess I didn't really ask which idea do you guys like better. I think maybe for like grinding online or something like that, I'll use my main account because we'll probably have more cars and whatnot. But for a career mode playthrough, we do an alternate account. GT5, that's a bit trickier to set up. Yes, I still have PS3. Remember I did my 24 Hours Le Mans stream. That was on GT5 last year. On my PS3. I still have it. I still have to do 24 Hours of Nürburgring. And I've been wanting to stream that. I just had too many things come up. And I didn't help myself because I picked up a couple other games. I picked up the Metal Gear Solid Collection, which is hundreds of hours of gameplay. And I also picked up the 2 Ratchet & Clank Future games on PS3. So those are going to take a while. And I was just planning on playing those at my own time. If you guys want to see a stream of those, I'm not a good player, but, you know, obviously let me know. What's up, Marv? How you doing? F8. You asked what about the other games. So, like I said, the modern game part of my channel is going to be GT7. The retro game component, which by the way, GT3 is that retro game component, is going to be Burnout 3. Burnout 3 Takedown. That was going to be my immediate next game after finishing GT3. We would do a 100% playthrough of Burnout 3. And the good news for all ends is Burnout 3 is a much shorter game than GT3. We could do that in just a couple months. It's, you know, like maybe 20 hours of gameplay. I'm guesstimating maybe even less than that. And there's no, like, super long championships. Everything is pretty well condensed. So it makes it for really easy, like, chunks. I don't know how I'd structure a video series about that, but maybe I'd even just leave it in the stream format. I don't know. Ah, the NSX is pitting in just lap 8. Let's see what everybody else does. I think the Arta is actually staying out. Yeah, both the Supra and the Arta have stayed out. So the Rayberg is on probably a 7 stop then, which means, or rather an 8 stop, right? Because he pitted on lap 7. And that would automatically put the Supra and the Arta on a 7 stop, maybe a 6 stop. We're not going for that kind of stops though. I think it's worth pre-ordering GT7 now. I mean, it literally got a week, so if you are planning to buy the game, I mean, just pre-order it. The only thing you really get, unless you get the deluxe edition, but if you get the PS4 version, for instance, I think you get like some bonus cars. You get like a Stealth Edition Mazda Vision GT and like a couple other cars, and you get like 1,000,000 credits, which I actually am kind of against that. I'm not going to redeem my code right away because that just kind of ruins the progression of the game if you immediately start off with good cars and money. So I'm actually not going to redeem my code for that until I get quite a bit of progression in the game. Until like I want to grind for a car, because then I could just redeem the credits. So hey Rio, how you doing? We are going a bit more all out on GT3 than I have in the past, but that's because I want to get a big chunk of this game done before we commit to GT7. And we're surprisingly like pretty close to the end of the game in terms of event count. I mean, it's going to take a few endurance nights for me to clear this endurance league. But we will get through this. We will chug through it. Yes, Marf. GT7 is probably going to be the main component of my channel for like this year. Granted, the game is good, which I'm pretty sure the game's going to be good. If I find it fun, I will play it. And what that entails, I have no idea. Want to think about maybe doing a 100% playthrough if the career mode is good enough for that. Thinking of getting a wheel. I mean, here's the thing. If you can find a G29, that's perfectly fine. But I think the game will play perfectly on the controller. I don't think you'll have a problem with the controller like you will on other sims. GT has always been controller friendly for the most part. Even GT Sport and all that. So actually F8, it was confirmed because someone posted the back of the box on Reddit that there are microtransactions in GT7, and we don't know what those mean, but if I had to take a bet, it's probably what the case is for GT Sport, where you can buy cars or credits directly. But it's the good kind of microtransaction, you know, the one where it's not a pay-to-win kind of thing. There's a line. And in GT Sport even, it's like they only allowed direct purchase of cars that were like under $10 million. It wasn't even a huge skip. There is no exclusive microtransactions if that's what you're thinking about. Yeah, G29 is what I have and I love it. I mean, I do want to upgrade to a Fanatec or at least a direct drive wheel, but it's kind of stupid to blow my money on a $2,000 wheel until I get my own place. But I just physically have no space to get a second wheel. I'm already taking a good chunk of my parents' house with the rig I already have. So I'm just gonna wait till I move out, which, you know, who knows when that will be. But then I'll upgrade my rig to something really nice. Alright, we have completed 10 laps, and it's only been about just under 20 minutes. So actually, we are on good pace to complete this in just a hint under 2 hours. Is there a PS4 GT7 Deluxe Edition? I'm not sure, actually. You'd have to just check the store. If you're talking about a physical release, I think there is the launch edition for the PS4. I'm not sure though. Right, Rio, that's why I think it's quite stupid for me to buy a Fanatec right now, because my G29 works perfectly and I love it. And I am just trying to get a bit extra, and it is purely because I think it looks cooler and, you know, gives a better feel. And it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, does it make you happy? Like, let me give an example. So, if you have a guitar, right? Let's say you want to buy an electric guitar. The guitar I have is a Fender Squier Stratocaster, which those things cost about $200 or $300, more or less. You can get an actual Fender Stratocaster, which it's a bit higher of a build quality, and the sound is a little bit higher quality, but they're both 6-string guitars. They both have full electric capabilities. The Stratocaster is going to set you back about $2,500. Now, I'm no dedicated guitar player, so for me, the Squier, the cheaper Squier, is perfectly fine for my needs. I'm not going to be a rock star, guys. However, if you are a guitar enthusiast or a guitar player, that $2,000 Stratocaster, you know, if it sparks you joy and you like it, why not buy it? If you're going to use it and you're going to have fun with it, then I think it's worth it. And I see a, you know, direct drive wheel in the same way as like a premium guitar or something like that, or a premium camera, or anything that has a pretty expensive version. So wow, the Arna pitted on lap 11, and I think the Supra is still going. So yeah, that's purely the thing, is I don't need a direct drive wheel, but I do want to get one at some point down the line. I can afford it, but it would be kind of stupid for me to spend the money right now because I actually have space limitations actually rather than money limitations. I will tell you this, F8, the PS5 will not go on sale until there is enough supply for it to have a sale, because you can't even find a PS5 at MSRP still. I would not expect a price drop on the PS5 this year or even next year. You'll have to wait until you can easily find them in a store at the regular price and not the scalped price. Which who knows when we'll get to that point. You wait for when the PS5 is 50% off. You're gonna have to wait like 10 years for that. By then we'll have a PS6 or something. F8, what's the digital sale? Because is it a bundle where it gives you an extra controller for free? Because that's not really a sale. In order for it to be a sale, it needs to be under $400 or under $500, you know. Yeah, that is true. That the PS5's differences aren't that big compared to the PS4, and especially if you consider the PS5 is like 90% of the PS4 already. Alright, I'm gonna go for a quick water chug. Can I make it in time before the turn? Yes, we can. There's a disc version of PS5 that's exactly $500. That's the normal price. That's MSRP. That's what I paid for my PS5. $599 US dollars. That was the PS3, right? The original PS3. that was in 2006 dollars, which, if you guys know anything about inflation, that's a lot of money today. So, in comparison, the PS5 is actually cheap compared to the original PS3. But yeah, I do agree that console tech is in a weird spot right now because graphics have looked great for years. A lot. Us a lot. Little drift. Tires are still fine, and we might even be able to go 20 laps on these and only 2 stop. Yeah, as of right now, there's only 2 games that are truly PS5 exclusive, which are Demon Souls and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. I haven't played Demon Souls, except here's the thing, Demon Souls is based off the PS3 version, basically a remaster of the PS3 version. So if you have a PS3, you can get the first Demon Souls. And then Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, it's a good game. It's a great game, I'd even say. It looks gorgeous, plays great, controls are great. But it's not even the best Ratchet game in the series. So, I don't think either of those 2 games are worth dropping everything just to get a PS5. Yes, this is the Grand Valley 300 KM. I figured we'd do one of the slightly longer endurance races, since I have a little bit more time. Although, to be honest, there's only like 2 races that are shorter than 2 hours that we have left. I've already done the Roadster and the Super Speedway, which were short ones. There's the Seattle 100 miles, which is about an hour, and then there's the special stage Route 11 all nights, which is about an hour and a half. Yeah, we just need to get Grand Valley back in GT7 at first as a track, but I'm sure if they add it, they'll put back in the classic 300k endurance. Apricot and Midfield coming back to GT7. Midfield, we have no information about. Apricot Hill has been teased in the trailers through the track map, find your line stuff. It's teased in the game, except we have no actual confirmation that it's in there. I do expect we will probably see it on launch day or in the first update. So now I saw the Arto is actually in first place now. I think it finally got past the Supra and now it's being released. Chase after the Ray Rig. Or did the Ray Rig already pit again? I don't know, but we're about to lap our first batch of cars. You're playing TDU on the PSP? Yeah, you said that in the last stream. I have that game. I have TDU on both PSP and PS2. They're the same version. But yeah, when I was younger, I 100% did Test Drive Unlimited on my PSP. That was a really fun game. They did the open world really well on PSP. Apricot Hill in Armenia. That would be a... well, that'd be a GT-like call. I feel like they'd throw it in Japan, though. Yeah. GT7, at least how it's marketed, is it's supposed to be like a giant nostalgia trip where a lot of old cars and tracks are, in the modern form. Which it's great, but I do feel like it's not enough. I feel like 90% of GT7 is just GT Sport with a career mode. And what I mean by that is they could have put those tracks and cars in GT Sport and just made a single player update, and it would have turned out pretty close to what we're seeing in the marketing of GT7. So, that's of course for Polyphony to prove us wrong, which I hope they do. Game deserves to be, proper GT game. Polyphony certainly has the experience under their belt. Not like they forgot how to make a game. But maybe they do have physical restrictions or something, because the tech is so good. So, do I have Test Drive Unlimited 2? Of course I do. That was actually my first TDU. I played TDU 2 before the first one. And, yeah, I sunk hundreds of hours into that game. I was never able to fully, 100% it because of the club requirements, and the grinding kind of sucked. It was really slow and I just didn't have the time and patience for it. But now the servers are dead, so the only way you can play it again is if you mod the PC version, which I don't have. I should have bought it on Steam though, it was on sale plenty of times. Yeah, the hub world definitely looks like another GT4. But if you guys remember GT4's, hub world was absolutely massive. Like, there wasn't a single car dealership like you see in GT7. There was 30. And, there's a handful of used car dealerships. There's 3. There was the historic dealership and then 2 other showrooms. There was the tuner showroom. And then there was, each country had its own set of dealerships. It was pretty whack. It was awesome. They made you learn all about the cars and where they were from and all that jazz. You guys keep saying oh, I'll buy the PS5 when it gets cheaper, but it's I think the first challenge is actually finding them when they're available. Again, a year and a half later, I still have not seen a PS5 in a store at all, in person, with my own eyes. So here's the other thing about GT7 this week that's turned out. If you followed the Reddit page, the subreddit for Gran Turismo, a couple of Amazon workers have spotted the batch of GT pre-orders going out in the fulfillment center. And that's where someone, took a picture of the box and spoiled the back box art. So, there's 2 components to what I'm about to say. Reviewers, like YouTubers and journalists, already have the game right now. They have review copies and they're playing the game right now, writing their reviews, and we're about to get a bunch of content next week on Wednesday the 2nd. However, I have a feeling that maybe not an Amazon worker, but somebody else who's involved in that goes rogue and will spoil the whole game on the internet a week before release. I have a feeling with just under 10 days to go, there's a high chance that's going to happen. Now, I hope it doesn't. I hope everything's contained. I am disappointed actually that all the reviews and all the gameplay is going to come out 1 and 2 days before release. I wish it was all just dropped on that Friday, but I guess Australia would already have access to the game on the 3rd, so it is what it is. I miss being a kid when GT games would just come out, I wouldn't even be aware of it, and then one day my parents would just be like, hey, we did like this. And I'd be so hyped even though the game would have already been out for several months by then. A fun little fact about my childhood. The year I got my PS3, which was 2010, It was actually my grandpa had the PS3. We got it on launch. And when he got it, I was 6 years old. And at home when I was 6, we just had the PS1 and PS2. And I was always playing the PS2. So then whenever I'd visit my grandparents, my grandparent would be like, hey, we have a PS3. I'm like, there's a third one? That was neat, and I was playing Ridge Racer 7, Burnout Paradise, and GT5 Prologue. That was pretty much all the games I had there. Now 2010 rolls around. I remember seeing on TV there's trailers for like Gran Turismo 5, and I didn't really think in my head that they're making a new Gran Turismo. It's just like, oh yeah, that's a trailer for Gran Turismo. And the game launched in like November, but I was completely unaware of all of this 10-year-old me. And in like early December that year in 2010, my grandpa like comes over. He's like, "Hey, I never used this, and nobody else in our family uses it. So me and my brother, you guys could just have it." It's like awesome. Got a new console. So I was playing, Burnout Paradise and all that jazz, at home. And then Christmas that year rolls around, and what did my parents give me? Of course, it's Gran Turismo 5, and I was absolutely ecstatic. Even though by that point the game had already been out for a month, and it had already been figured out online, but I was completely oblivious to any of that. So I got to fully enjoy that game without any outside influence of the internet. That was just pure bliss. That was good times, man. It was like the next year where I joined PSN and figured out all the online stuff. So that's just me, nostalgia baiting. By the way, 20 laps now, and our tires are still fine. I mean, they're starting to turn a bit orange, but my lap times seem to be fine. So F8. The PS5 physical, and I think also the digital deluxe edition, like the upper tier version, if you buy the PS5 version, you get a digital code of the PS4 version, because you can't put the PS5 disc in a PS4. So you essentially get both versions of the game. And here's the confusing part, is if you buy the PS4 edition of the game, just the PS4 edition, and you buy the disc version of that, you can put the PS4 disc in the PS5, and the PS5 will launch the PS4 version, not the PS5. So it's kind of gimped. And then the other part of it is, if you buy the PS5 disc version, you'll always have a copy of GT5 or GT7 available. It would just be the PS4 version, unless you put in the PS5 disc. That wasn't already confusing enough. What's my opinion on the Lexus LFA? V10. That's all you need to say. V10 go burr. Alright, so my lap 20 was actually a 152, so you know what? My lap times are probably dropping off, even if I'm not noticing it directly. So, probably not going to make this go 30 laps, so might as well just pit. So James, today was day 1 of F1 testing, and I tell you, everybody's hyped on the Ferrari hype train, myself included. Ferrari looks really good so far. But it's only testing. It looks like the top 4 from last year are going to be the top 4 this year, just maybe in a different order. Alright, stint number 2. So, yeah, I think there's a $10 upgrade if you want to upgrade to the PS5 version. What you do is you You put in your PS4 disc and the PS5, and then you buy the $10 upgrade. It's kind of weird, but that's how they're doing it. It's happened to a bunch of other games that's released, like Call of Duty and forget what else. I think Spider-Man's like that too. Desert Raid, welcome. It's a Wednesday night. Completely unconventional time, but we are here, live, doing an endurance. Rolling. It's the hokey pokey. Breathe in, breathe out. Back up, back up. Move in, move out. The most hype song for Fast and Furious, but then when you actually listen to the lyrics, you're like, what am I listening to? The only reason everyone likes that song is because of the deep rolling voice. Which I admit, that's what I like about that song. Well, F8, here's the deal. If you don't have a PS5, your only option is the PS4 edition, so just get the PS4 edition. And I don't think you need to get the deluxe edition. Like, trust me, there really isn't that much content that's worth getting all in. Unless you really like PSN avatars, but it's mostly just like fan service that you're getting. But you will have a complete experience just getting standard. Everything else is just kind of like bonuses. So Lexus has a new LFA that's all electric. I mean, that's kind of sad because half of the LFA was the noise and a beautiful engine note. And we don't have that anymore. Can't really see what just pitted. I think it's the Supra. Yeah, electric cars are quickly becoming the new normal. And it really puts a time limit on how much we can have our gas cars, really, at least in normal circumstances. Which is sad, because I still want to drive a Ferrari F355. I want to own one. But it seems like by the time I get to afford one, I won't be able to drive it. It seems like with the electric, push, there's like two crowds of people. There's the people who don't care about cars and just want to drive whatever is, their point A to point B. And that's the people who are going to buy, a Tesla or whatever cheap electric car is out there just because it's out there. And then there's like the anti-car, go full on green everything, where even the concept of cars is kind of worthless, even if they're electric cars, because it takes a lot to build them and it would just be much cleaner to just take public transportation. That's just what I've seen online, and I mean, they're both valid arguments, I guess. But, what's up, Supra? I'm gonna lap it. But, like, it completely ignores the enthusiast part. And the enthusiast is maybe, like, 5% at most of, you know, drivers. Even though we love our cars and drive a lot, we aren't the vast majority of the population. And, you know, it gets us all, you know, left out. It's kind of sad. Because we'll keep buying cars if they're available. But we aren't the majority. Yeah, there's the issue with the power grid. Exus notoriously does not have a good power grid. Because, like, here's the thing. And I know it's hard to compare, like, America to Europe, because there's so many differences. But, like, if you look at how they're handling, you know, general culture, they're not car dependent. They are very much, you know, city centers, lots of biking, lots of trains and buses, easy access. That's how they get by. And that will be cleaner than anything that could be outputted from America. Simply because they have to produce all those highways, all those charging stations, all those electric cars. And then essentially we're going to undo all of the, you know, harmful effects that a gas car does just by buying NFTs. You know, someone who's on the gas car side, saying the NFT evolution happened, that pisses me off. Because it's like, we're just replacing one environmentally harmful product with another one that's worse. And then you're made to feel bad that you want the slightly better product. So all I ask car manufacturers and governments is, please, just let me drive a Ferrari F355 on a road and not have to take out a second mortgage to do it. Because right now, they're only pricing in billionaires to be able to drive, you know, their luxury toys. And I am not going to be a billionaire anytime in my life. I don't think any of us are. You know, that's the other thing about electric cars, is charging still takes quite a bit of time. And if you know American culture at all, that's totally opposite. Americans are all about, we don't want any of our time wasted, we're on our grind, let's just fill up and get out of here. That's why, you know, highway gas stations, you know, are so good, is because you don't even make that much of a detour. You just hop off, get gas, you're back on the highway in 3 minutes. But if you have to sit and charge for half an hour when you're on your commute, or on your day, or going for a road trip, you know, it just adds extra time. And, you know, we're so destination focused. A lot of driving around is just like plain roads that are pretty boring. There's only so much music you can listen to, and sitting down you can do at a time before it starts to get really irritating. Yeah, there's the other question right now where electric cars are so new, but what happens when the batteries start to, deteriorate, like our phone batteries do? Because are they just going to end up in another landfill after 10 years? I think we'll start seeing the answer to that when all these Teslas that came out, last decade start turning 10 years old. Because I can't imagine you could replace the battery easily in an electric car. Especially if it has outdated tech. Yeah, if that's going to cost $8,000 to repair a car and it's worth like maybe $30,000 at the most, that's just not worth it. So then the car just ends up in a landfill or just sitting to, rot. Like I just said, like we're trying to solve a problem with the environmental impact, and then we're just creating new problems with NFTs, battery production. Charging is free on electric cars, but it's not the cost, it's the time. Time is money. You do have to pay for charging. I thought if you have like a Tesla, you could just walk up to a Tesla charging station and just plug in. Although I don't have an electric car, so I don't know. By the way, we set a fastest lap on that, lap 28. Catch the spin. Ah, so they give you 1,000 free miles. So it's a freaking subscription service. That sucks. You know how like even like Toyota and I think it was Toyota, they are now adding a subscription so that you can use the remote start on your car. And I think it was Ford, I don't remember who, someone has to correct me. I just bonked the end of that tunnel. But one of the other manufacturers was putting a subscription on like other features, or at least planning to implement it. And it's like your car is going to just turn into the next, advertising machine. You don't own it. You can't even access your car without paying for exclusive features. It's like, what? All that's gonna do is just make like the 2020 car, that had all those features, just more valuable, because you don't have to get a subscription. You just have to cover maintenance. Which, cars from a couple years ago are still pretty reliable. good lap so far. Let's just close it out with a good end. See if this is the new fastest lap. Felt good about that. Maybe a 47. Oh yeah. By a long shot. Almost even a 46. Also right half distance. It's just under the hour mark. Just barely made that corner. You know, that's the billion-dollar question in life is, how much do you want to pose, or how much do you want to pass on the impact on the individual? And is enough being done to, like, really make a difference in the long run? I feel like for a lot of people, they are realizing that it's not enough. Well, we're going to get a huge slipstream here. I don't think it's going to break our lap record, but another 47. However, this is going to help us get a rocket start on this lap. Good speed, not a good line. Not so good. I lost too much oversteer. Let's see if that slipstream is enough to get us to 46. It isn't. Yeah, I would prefer 100% renewable fuels as well. If you guys know, Porsche is working on a alternative fuel. I think it's like a biofuel or hydrogen or something like that. I thought it was Porsche that was working on it. Or maybe Toyota is too. I think a solution that could future-proof the ICE cars that are already on the road, that would be fine. Where's my Joe Mama? Honda are working on hydrogen. I feel like we'll get there eventually. You just need to give it time to develop. I couldn't get 4 147s in a row. I think our tires are starting to drop off just a hint. I'm not an expert in hydrogen tech, so I mean just Google it and just read some studies. I mean ultimately they're designed to be better than gas cars for the environment. Not paying attention, and I thought I could just full throttle, but I put way too much steering on that. That's gonna be like a 149. Yeah, electricity is going to become expensive. I mean, it already is pricey. But I imagine if you have like a charging station installed in your house or garage, it'll bring your bill way up. There's a Joe Mama. You're distracted, you weren't there to respond right away? How dare you? Yeah, technically your gas cost is going to become part of your electric bill then. Yeah, sports. Yeah, good luck with that. Because if you go and protest electric cars, you know what's the first thing you're going to say? They're going to tell you. So you don't care about the environment. Like literally that's already been like closed off. That debate is yeah, you can't tell that to the EPA. Don't mean to get political, but you're gonna get looped into all the there's another group. I don't want to get political at all, so without stepping on a landmine, you'll just get looped into a debate that is entirely not worth your time. Building hydrogen cars is bad for the environment. Like, listen, I have no idea about hydrogen cars. I don't know if you mean hydrogen as in the fuel source, because it would be the same then as building a gas car. Or if the engine building is completely different. I literally have no idea. You can't go to a dealership and buy a hydrogen car today. Coming up another group of cars scheduled to lap. Probably be the 2 GTRs and a Supra. Well, it's not that hydrogen cars will replace electric cars. Like, once something is built, you cannot replace that. You cannot get that off the road. And it's also really tough to actually get a different type of car on the market. It takes a lot of lobbying and infrastructure and deals. you'd need some major manufacturers with a lot of money on that front. And then, there's the question of, is it going to be a hydrogen-based car that's entirely new, or is it a hydrogen fuel that's, good with old cars? Because that's two different questions to answer. So wait, so it's not the GTRs, it's the other group. It's the NSXs and the Supra that I'm coming up on. This is actually the second lap. They're all actually really close together, look at that. 2/3 race distance, and they're still scrapping it out within a couple seconds. I'll take that pass. Now let's try to put a move on the Supra. If anything the last 2 years has taught us is that companies literally only care about chasing money and PR. Or rather just money and good PR so that they can get the money. So if there's money to be made, they're building electric cars or hydrogen or whatever the solution's going to be, they'll chase that solution. Yeah, I'm not interested in buying an electric car anytime soon, really. They're gonna have to pry it out of my cold, dead hands. Alright, I'm gonna pit on this lap since my tires have fallen off. Norway has the most electric cars. Interesting. But isn't Norway also like, a standard, European, mostly public transport and bike society? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. But in a lot of Europe, the regulations are different, and they're more incentivized to build cities that are bus dependent and train dependent and that are walkable. Maybe Denmark. I mean, the Netherlands is heavily, walkable and train dependent. And then many cities in like Germany, Italy, France, etc. You can find tons of examples. I mean, in the US, the closest thing you have is, ironically, where I live, downtown Chicago. Or, I don't live in downtown Chicago, but it's really walkable, huge network of trains and buses. I almost forgot to pit right there. And lots of options to get around. There's only one problem, is you're in Chicago. So safety is not the best. Not like what you see on the news, but you do have to be pretty careful. New York is also, yeah, pretty anti-car as far as cities go in the US. But yeah, when I go to work in person, which by the way, I actually start going back to work partially next week. I've been full remote for the last few months, but I go back to the office next month. When I go to downtown Chicago, I take the train. I don't drive there because it's really expensive to park and city traffic is terrible. So my best option and cheapest is to take the train and then walk about a mile to work. And it's pretty doable. It does take quite a bit of time, but considering how far I live from the city, it's kind of something you can't really avoid. And that's, where you can't really compare America to Europe just because the sheer size of both population and the, areas that people live in. It's completely different. So we're on our final stint. Quick jug. Yeah, it's good to have buses. I will say, like, where I'm at, in order for me to get to the train station, the closest train station to me that is viable is like 3 miles away. So I usually have to drive about 10 minutes to that train station, get on the train, ride it for about half an hour, and then either walk 20 minutes, about a mile, or wait for a bus to take me to work. So all in all, it's about an hour to an hour and 15-minute commute, give or take. And it sucks is, like, I wish it was only just the train part that I had to take, because the train part, even though it's the longest, it covers the most distance. NSX battle. What's up, Ari? We're on the final stint of this endurance. The roof of my NSX rattled. Was it when I made contact with the other NSX? This is a convertible JGTC. You want the PS5 and GT7 so bad. Here's a little question for you, F8. Why do you want the GT7 Deluxe Edition so bad? Is it because of the steelbook case and the PSN avatars? Yeah, I've only been to LA once, and I did take the train to get around, but I also Ubered a lot to go specific places, and traffic was a mixed bag. And the one thing that you haven't pointed out is it is hot in LA. If you're outside for more than 25 minutes and you don't have water, that's not a good time. So therefore, it's better to be in somewhere air conditioned, like inside a train or inside a car, because if you're taking the train or something and then you gotta walk to your destination, it could be pretty sweaty. Or if you're sitting at the train station waiting for the train too. In Chicago, our train stations are outdoors. So if it's raining, you're waiting for a train in the rain. Mini slipstream. That was actually a pretty good turn. And I bonked off the skyline just the right way. Replay save complete. I think it completed the maximum amount of replay time, which is an hour and 25 minutes. Good to know. Even with that lap, that was still only a 148. Where can I find that 147 pace? It's coming up right to the time where our tires are going to be in prime condition. see how this lap turned out. $47.9. Bad. I think we need a slipstream to get a 46. Or maybe some perfect cornering. Thanks, Skyline. Appreciate it. I want to go traveling again. It's been so long. Seems like the country, or not even the country, just gonna take a long time if we ever fully recover from just the effects of the pandemic. I just want to be able to, do stuff without having to worry about if it's gonna make people sick or if it's not gonna be the full experience. Your COVID situation at school is a mess. Yeah, I'm glad I'm out of school right now because I do not envy the kids who have to deal with the weird guidelines. Although it does seem like starting next month we're going completely backwards and just gonna plug our ears on if COVID's real or not. Which I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, you got Silicon Valley up there, so all the high-paying jobs are over there. Oh yeah, if the Queen dies of COVID, we're all screwed. That's gonna unleash Pandora's box. Well, we got a clear track for the next 10 laps, I'd say, unless one of the other AI pits in front of us. So let's just pump in some hot laps in the last section. Up that section. What's up, Gyro? Hola, amigo. I don't speak that much Spanish, but... hope that you're doing well. We're just constantly eating upper 40s. Maybe our oil is starting to deteriorate, that's why our times aren't as good. I like video games too, obviously. Like the PS5, the biggest difference is really just the SSD. I mean, obviously it's a lot more powerful, but the architecture is the same. They share the same servers. The controller is, you know, really good, which I give it that. DualSense, I absolutely love the controller. But yeah, it's hard to think of significant differences besides just more power. Effectively the same console, just newer. It's like if you got a PS4 Pro, if that makes any sense. But like a Super Pro. But like, PS5 won't do you that good unless you have like, you know, a nice TV, a nice big TV, 4K. Where you can actually, you know, take in the full experience of the graphics you're getting. If you're just going to play on 1080p, you're fine with just the PS4. PS5 controller has the adaptive triggers and the special rumble. Like, the vibration is really improved. It's a lot different. The button layout's obviously the same. It has the touchpad again. The controller has a little bit more weight and a slightly different form factor, but it does feel familiar. And I'd say the controller is probably the highest quality controller Sony's ever made. It's my favorite controller. Just really, really good. Yep, we're almost there. Got about 15 or so more minutes, I'd say. This is only endurance number 3 of 10. There's still so much to go. We hit 80 hours, by the way. Forgot to point that out, but yes. We're at the 80-hour range of this game. It's crazy. Think of what you could have done with 80 hours of your time. That's a work week. Or that's 2 work weeks, rather. That's a pay cycle. I could have worked overtime 80 hours, but instead I played Gran Turismo. I should tell that to my boss. Joking, of course. There will be a point, though, I'm sure. Probably not this or next year even, but they're gonna stop making PS4 games. And they'll only release stuff on PS5 after a certain point. It happens with every generation. I think it took till like 2015 until they stopped making PS3 games regularly. The same thing will probably happen with the PS4 time-wise. It's just right now we're in this weird period because of the pandemic. They haven't been able to produce that many PS5s. So to keep their, 100 million player base, occupied, they'll release some of those games on the old console. But I don't know how long you can count on them doing that. We get 10 viewers going. What's up, gang? We are approaching the end of this race, which means we'll get that all-important prize cover. It's really the only things we're looking forward to in this playthrough, besides it getting done. We'll be checking, a couple stuff off the list, like, for instance, this is the last time I think we'll drive JGTC. I'm gonna drive a different kind of car for, like, the Tokyo Endurance. We'll check that off our list, I think. I won't spoil that answer. Interpret that however you will. Almost a Spinella. I managed to go this whole race without Spinella and come to it at the very end. Alright, Cinco Super just made its final pit stop. Otherwise, look at that. The AI are all on the same part of the track. Except this Super that's pitting. I'm about to lap one last time. I wonder if we'll catch that group within the 5 laps. We're just chilling. I think I am gonna lap at least one car. You're going back and forth on, oh, I'm gonna stick with PS4. Oh, I'm gonna get PS5. Oh, I'm gonna get PS4. I mean, if just stick with the philosophy. If you can find the PS5 without being scalped at all for a fair price, and it's worth it to you, then just buy it. Like, you know, technically I could be perfectly happy with just my PlayStation 2 or my PlayStation 3, but there's more to life than a library that already exists and has had its full life cycle. All the great PS4 experiences have already come out, and everything else is going to be the second-hand edition to the PS5 version. Like, you can play Spider-Man or GT7 or the next God of War game, but you're only going to get, you know, a gimped version in the PS4. If you want the 100% full experience, you know, you get the best version. Alright, so the Arta NSX made its final pit stop. I think the Denso Started Super is going to win out on that battle. Unless it pits again. I think the Rayburg NSX is in first place, so unless that pits again, it might have that second place secured. Except, here's the thing, F8 is $500 for the digital version. Is not even MSRP, it's $400. What you're seeing is an inflated price because of scalping. Like, you should pay what the MSRP is, which is either $400 for the digital version or $500 for the disc version. No more than that. Well, you said digitally. So, yeah, disc version, pay no more than $500. Ah, so the Rayburg does pit. Oh wait, no, that's not the Super, that's the Pennzoil GTR that's up front. Then this is going to be huge. Where does the Rayburg come out? I think he's just finished his pit stop. Now does the Arta jump him on the pit exit? I don't know, it doesn't look like it. Looks like the Rayburg will come out just ahead. Oh, it's so close. I don't know who passed it, if there was a pass at all. We'll have to see on the results screen. They're neck and neck, but I think the Rayburg's probably going to stay ahead. Final car that we're going to lap. No oil lamp. Despite this being a 300 cam race, we're doing just under 180 miles. It's not really 300k, is it? I don't know what you're trying to imply, F8, but nothing that what you said didn't make sense. You're trying to get the PS5 for $500. That's MSRP. I agree, that's a good price. Anyway, we just won that race in 111 minutes, and the Rayburg keeps second place, finishing 3 laps behind. And the Arta, which is kind of actually far, I think it might have passed in the first corner, but the Rayburg is just faster. 3 laps again. The Pennzoil is 4 laps behind, and the Loctite, once it finishes its pit stop, I think it will also be 4 laps. Yes. There you go. It's an NSX 1-2-3 finish. That's 400k in the bag to recoup some of the money we just spent. Let's get that all-important thumbnail shot. I've been trying to get a better thumbnail shot quality, because when I put this on the editor, sometimes the picture comes out blurry. which is weird because on my TV screen it looks perfect, and the Game Capture HD is in 1080p. But when I actually rip the recording, it's in a lower quality. So I think at some point I'm going to have to bite the bullet and get one of those retro upscalers, but the issue is it seems like there's so much variability in pricing and quality. I just don't know what to do. So if there's anyone in chat who's like a retro game TV expert thing, who has more knowledge than I do, let me know. Because I think we could bump up the quality of these retro streams as if it wasn't already good quality. I think we can push it even further without breaking the bank too much. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can get one more good thumbnail shot. Ooh, I like that one. Ah, the bridge shot. They need to bring that back to GT7, I swear. This track is so iconic. Alright. One more chance in this, the chicane thing. Nice little zigzag shot. The game's just so pleasant to look at. That might be a good like stream thumbnail shot. So much good stuff to choose from. Alright, I'm done with that. You all know what time it is. It's prize card time. We got our money. What's our prize? For 2 hours of racing. Oh, and it's pink. There you go. Our first Formula 1 car in this game. And it had to be pink. Or is it red? I don't know. I'm calling it the Racing Point Pink Panther. The 2022 Renault Bahrain Edition. Alright, let's give this an oil change first. And a car wash. Thank you, Ray Briggsix. You did us well. You got us our first Formula car. Let's hop in. So, this is the FO90S. So, what does that mean? It's not a random stretch of numbers. I'll tell you right now. F is for formula, obviously. 0 is for the engine, so that's a V10. It's the last digit of the engine. It's a V10. The 90 is the year, so it's 1990. And the S is the driver, which is Ayrton Senna. So this is the 1990 Ayrton Senna McLaren, which has a V10 engine. Except the McLaren in 1990 was white and red. And here we get a pink one, which I don't think there was any pink F1 car in 1990. But nonetheless, it's a pink Formula Boy, number 24. Looks very nice. Very, very nice. Our game status is 91.2%. All that effort for 2% or 0.2% completion. Anyway. That's a great car to end this segment on. Alright. Let's save the game. And I feel like I'm not doing it justice if I don't drive this car for you guys. Just for a demonstration. Let's give this thing just for a spin. Just a little test drive. Let's go to running settings and let's drive it around, midfield. Sure. Next endurance race? No, I don't have enough time. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I mean, the next one will do. Depends on when I do it. If I find myself on an evening like this one where I got a lot of time, I'll do another 2-hour one. If not, we got a couple shorter races that we can handle. I'll just kind of decide on the day. Oh yeah. Our driver is that supposed to be Senna with the yellow helmet? Let's get him in better lighting. I think that is supposed to be Senna, but it's a yellow and black helmet. Yeah, it's yellow and black helmet, so it's not quite Senna, even though it is Senna's car. Alright, let's do a hot lap. Look at those RPMs, like 14,000, 16,000 RPMs. The downforce. Sweet downforce. I mean, the MP44 was 1988, and this was only 2 years ahead of that. Which, fun little fact, the 88 McLaren is in this game. In a similar fashion. Yeah, it sounded really good through the tunnels. I heard that sound again in the tunnels. Time to obliterate our lap record. Didn't even have to hit 200 miles an hour. 56-second lap. Let's just do one more to see if I can go a little bit faster. Oh, the downforce. I'm just confident the car makes the corner. Just like that. A little bit better. My third sector wasn't that good, but it will be an improvement. 3/10 quicker. Alright. Let's watch a little replay, and that's how I'll end the stream. Yeah, this is a good productive day in the end. Alright. Well, let's pause that timer because I think we're done gaming for today. But I'll do my outro with this replay. So, yeah, that was Endurance Night 2, but Endurance number 3 completed. We got 7 to go. Still lots of driving to do. I don't know if I'll be able to do another one in the middle of the week. Let's see how it goes, but I have some weekend plans coming up, so I got no idea how this will be. But whatever it is, I'll let you guys know in Discord, which, you know, it's gonna be just continually grinding this. But on Saturday we'll do GT Sport to send that game off, and then next week it's GT7 time. So some exciting times coming ahead. That being said, I think it is time for me to call it a night. So I will leave this replay footage for you guys to enjoy, and that's how the stream will end. So thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.